I'm actually not sure if I'm going to regret this or not, but we'll see. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Trina, and today we're going to have a fun little experiment. Actually, this is going to be a month-long anime vlog for you guys. It is actually the 28th today. I am pre-filming the introduction to this video before April comes around, because what we're doing today is actually I'm going to be watching a bunch of low-rated animes so you don't have to. So whether or not this pushes through or not, I think this is either the funniest or the most cursed video idea that I have ever, So the context for this video idea that I have generated and subjected myself with today is actually I have been watching a few of the anime, whatever genre it is actually, that are high in ratings. When I say high, it is like 7, 8, 9, 10. In the My Anime List app, I have my app here at the ready actually. So this is how much I have watched actually. I have completed 535 anime in my whole lifetime. I have dropped 14 of them. Plan to watch 312 more. And as you can see here in my on hold, these are the anime that well, except this one. Except a few of these, like 2 of these here are actually seriously on hold because the next episode isn't out yet, or I'm still not ready to continue watching such a long ass anime. But anyway, these are the anime that Google and a bunch of listers have deemed low rating, like 6 and below. So I have a bunch of different stuff here, from slice of life to romance to horror to isekai to mecha to vampire to sci-fi, everything in between. So some of these are movies, some of these are series. So what I decided on doing here is actually, before I put this list together, actually I had like 30 something. However, some of them are not in Bilibili, so that is where I watch these. And if it's not there, I can't find them anywhere else, because usually low-rated anime are very hard to come by in different resources. So anyway, so I have here all of the names, 23 titles of anime that I have on hold list. So to start this video, I'm going to be picking out the first 5 titles that I'm going to subject myself to for the first week of April. So this will be a vlog type sort of situation. So I will be like updating every now and then about the anime, and then we'll wrap up at the end of the month. And April is somehow actually a busy month for me as well, so I don't know if I've timed this properly to do this video, but we'll see how much I have done. And if you end up seeing this video, please like and subscribe, because I think this is going to be a hard one for me. So anyway, without further ado, let's start. Every time I pick out an anime, I will stick it in here and we'll talk about the synopsis. First one, Yuki the movie. Next one, The Wave of Rage. I've picked out 2 movies already. Next one is Samurai Gun. Next one, am I even in frame? Oh, it's Suikoden. I have history with this one, so I'll talk about it later. Next, Assassin's Pride. And I often say this, like with previous, like, pick out which anime I watch. Every time I watch a movie, or like every time I pick out a movie, I decide to like go for another one, just because a movie is like 1 hour long, so it's going to be easy to knock out. So I'm going to pick 2 more. If it's another movie, then we'll end it there. Okay, and then last one is, there we go. So I was putting this down, and you will maybe like ask, Trina, why are you doing this? Why are you subjecting yourself to like cursed anime that are probably wasting your time and doing this? I hate watching, basically. And I also have this theory, because like there are like high-rated anime that I don't particularly like. Like, for example, some people rated this particular movie an 8 while I rated it as a 5. So in a way, I'm trying to find out if there are actually anime that I deem good enough to like become a 7 or an 8. So like my goal here is to like maybe one of these anime I could like rank as a 7, and we'll see if that happens actually. So I will put on screen like a picture of the anime while I read through the synopsis of this in my anime list. So the first one, Yuki Snow Fairy, is a movie rated, am I in frame? 5.96. So it's not that low, so to speak. It's an adventure fantasy mythology. Up in heaven, Yuki's grandparents decide that, having turned 13 years old, she must go down to Earth to a village that is torn by bandits and intervene to save its people. However, if she does not succeed within 1 year, she will become as insubstantial as the wind. Down in the village, Yuki is befriended by a group of orphans whose parents have been killed by the bandits and who now subsist by begging. Yuki amazes them by taming the wild horse Blizzard. She is instrumental in getting the orphans and farmers to stand up to first... What is it? She is instrumental in getting the orphans and farmers to stand up to fight the warring bandits, and then Goemon, the greedy lord that owns the region. Yuki must face her greatest challenge when the displeased demon god that lives in the volcano emerges to destroy those who live beneath. So in a way, it is like historical mythology. I don't want to watch or read rather whatever bad comments that this anime gets. I want to stay blind to it as possible. Of course, I can't really stay blind to some of this because I have like heard spoilers from them. So that's the first one. The second one is The Wave of Rage. Do I have this in Bilibili? I'll just see if there is, because it's not in my... I think this is a bust. Hold on a second. Yep, it is a bust. We're going to pick out another one that is not that. Because what I've done here in preparation for this is that I have written all of the 30 titles here before I even tried to see if I have access to any of these shows. And it turns out I missed one that I suddenly deem as unable to watch. So we're going to have Taboo Tattoo, whatever this is. So we're just going to slap that on there. And Taboo Tattoo is a martial arts supernatural seinen, rated 5.74 upon Sigi, a martial artist, trained middle schooler, often feels driven to protect the weaker people around him. One day, he defends a homeless man against some punks, and the man gives him a strange tattoo on his palm in return. The tattoo is a secret weapon produced in the arms race between America and the Surinisten Kingdom. Sigi finds himself in over his head when a powerful girl using the same secret weapon violently pursues him in order to retrieve it. His skills at martial arts may not be enough to keep him alive, but will he be able to learn how to trigger the power of his tattoo in time? Well, it's a JC Staff production, so in a way, I just hope that it is not much of an ecchi. But it sounds interesting. It kind of reminds me of Gleipnir for some reason, and I rated Gleipnir like a 3 or something, and it's one of those anime that I really hated because it was ecchi. So the feel and the pacing of what I've read here in the synopsis kind of sounds the same. So let's hope for the better. Next, we have here Samurai Gun. Samurai Gun is action, historical, and seinen. I'm noticing that, so while I was searching for like a list of bad animes to watch, I've come to notice that most of the lower rated ones are either historical or mecha. I don't know why, but it's mostly historical or mecha. So this one, it is the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and feudal Japan is in turmoil. The ruling shogun are wielding their abusive powers to instill fear and dominance over their oppressed subject. Beatings, imprisonment, rape, and even murders are the adopted tactics chosen to maintain their reign. The bloodshed must end. A group of samurai have banded together, and with the development of new weapons and new technology, they have both the will and the hardware to stand up and fight. Ichimatsu is one of these fighters. By day, he works incognito at a local tavern. In the evenings, he frequents the brothels, and by the dark night, he doles out some big-time gun-barrel justice. He is here to help. He is Samurai Gun. So, in a way, the synopsis is written... I don't know. I have feelings with the ending of the synopsis. Like, he is being presented like a vigilante superhero of some sort. So, 5.95 is higher than the previous one. So, we'll see. Next up here, Assassin's Pride. 5.93. So, basically, it is so-so as well. It's a fantasy. On the brink of extinction, mankind has downsized and now solely resides in the city-state of Flandor, living in city encased by glass domes. Beyond the domes exist vicious lycanthropes who thrive in the darkness. Among the citizens inside, a clear distinction between the nobility and commoners is in place. The blood of nobles enable them to utilize mana, granting them abilities that exceed human limits and greatly assist them in defeating lycanthropes. So it's magic. Our already 13 years of age, noble Melida Angel has yet to manifest her mana and attends an elite academy where she is mistreated for her lack thereof. In order to help her, Kufa Vampire is ordered by the Angel family to become Melida's tutor. While Kufa seems to be mere mentor, an ulterior motive lurks behind his job. He is to assassinate her if he confirms that she does not possess mana. Kufa's investigation eventually leads him to determine that he must eliminate Melida. However, Kufa is struck by her unwavering determination, spirit, and belief in herself when he witnesses her in a fight, choosing instead to offer a way she can manifest her magic. As Melida learns to use mana with the help of Kufa's teaching, Kufa forsakes his mission and jeopardizes everything to keep his discovery of Melida unknown to the Angel family and his own guild. However, both Kufa and Melida will soon realize that hiding their secret will not be the only challenge they face, for unseen trouble is just waiting around the corner. Okay. I have no comments yet, but it sounds interesting. So I tend to wonder, what is the reason why these animes are so low in the ratings? So next one here is Suikoden Demon Century. Suikoden is an OVA, so it is like 45 minutes long. My history with Suikoden, as far as I know actually, is that it is a game that my brother used to play in the PlayStation. I can't remember the story of it, but I know that it is a hero, and then it is also somewhat like a dating sim. So, synopsis. In the early 21st century, an earthquake destroyed Tokyo. Japan lost its center of government and industry and turned into a lawless territory. Looking for a sister, Takateru Suga learns that she was kidnapped by the powerful, Koryukai gang. I am butchering these names. He decides to ally himself with a drag queen, 2 ex-mercenaries, and a nun to destroy the crime organization and save his sister. So in a way, I know the aesthetics of Suikoden, and I think there is, I forgot, was it Hortensia Saga that had a game? But usually, whenever games have anime adaptations, I get quite concerned. Like, there is also, like, because, Genshin Impact is also getting a movie or series of some sort soon, but I think it was MAPPA that is handling their production. I have to research for it again. But anyway, I know that I trust this sort of art style and also the production, and it's just JC stuff. And still, I still have this feeling that whenever games have movies, it's not up to par compared to the movie, except maybe Persona. Persona is one of my favorite series. And I haven't played the game, but my friend is very much obsessed with the franchise, and I enjoy it. Another one is Fate Grand Order, of course. The Fate series also has a game. And what else has games? I can't think of anything else. But still, it is sort of like a hit or miss. And I'm afraid that maybe because this is rated so low, that it was a miss on this part. So anyway, proceed to the next, which is actually one that I should say that is probably the one I will be hate watching. Or maybe, I don't know. Because my friend watched this and she was like, don't watch it, it's just a waste of your time. Drama harem romance school with mild nudity. So, I'll just read this first. High school student Ito Makoto first notices Katsura Kotonoha at the start of his second semester freshman year. Immediately, he becomes entranced by her beauty, but his bashfulness does not allow him to approach her, even though they ride the same train every day. Instead, he snaps a photo of her in secret and sets it as his cell phone wallpaper, a charm that, if kept under wraps, would supposedly help you realize your dream. However, classmate Sayonji Sekai spots the picture, but instead of ratting him out, she offers to help set him up with Kotonoha, going so far as befriending her just for him. Thus, the trio begins a random impromptu friendship. School days follows the lives of these 3 teenagers as they traverse the joys and hardships that come with being a high schooler. In a story alive and brimming with romance and melancholy, the tale of 3 students will linger in memory long after the momentous conclusion. So, this anime, as they say, is hot garbage, because the main character is undesirable, so to speak. The main guy, they say, is someone you have to prepare for, like, you are going to hate it. It's no question, you're going to hate him. But in a way, I have seen the twist. I just want to see how the story progresses. And if I'm going to give this like a 2 or something, we'll see by the time the vlog portion comes into play in April. And I just hope that I can finish this, because in a way, the synopsis kind of reminds me of the Flowers of Evil manga, which I've read like the beginning of this year, and I hated the crap out of it because of like the similar, like, I'll help you with this girl that you like, and then the guy becomes obsessed with this like, there are 3 of them, so the girl is going to help the guy get in a relationship with this girl, and the guy instead becomes obsessed with her instead of the previous love interest. So it's almost similar pattern that I hate so much when done like poorly. And the last one, I actually my premise to this is like 6 or below. So in a way, this is like a give for me because 6 is not actually that bad. It's not actually that low, so to speak. So that's why I allowed myself to have like 6 ratings, just so that I can't like maybe suffer as much as expected to. So anyway, Caligula, action sci-fi. What is happiness? Ever a fan of psychology, questions such as this are ones that high school student Shikishima Ritsu likes to ponder as he spends his peaceful days with his friends. His perfect world, however, begins to unravel when he hears a strange voice, obscured by static, pleading for help. This voice belongs to Mew, a beloved pop idol whose singing begins to have an adverse effect on the world. Before Ritsu's very eyes, the faces of his friends and family become distorted by glitches as the sound of Mew's voice transforms them into digiheads, berserk monsters bent on the extermination of all of those who begin to awake to the true nature of their existence. Realizing that he is trapped in a virtual world created by Mew, called Mobius, Ritsu must now gather everyone else who has managed to realize the truth before they are all eliminated. Together, they will use their newfound power and weapons granted by their emotions, known as the catharsis effect, to fight off the mysterious group known as the Ostinato Musicians as they struggle to escape. So in a way, what is Mobius again? It's very familiar. I am actually like surprised that their emotions are called the catharsis effect. So yeah, it can go both ways actually, but I don't know why the mysterious group is called Ostinato Musicians, because it really reminds me of Tak Up, wherein there's music, and this doesn't feel like a music-centered anime. So yeah, so hopefully after this you will see that the next clip will be me watching the first movie, which is Yuki, and so I will see you then. Well, hello there. So it is the 1st of April, so April Fools. I am going to kick off my 30 days of watching hot garbage anime, if you will. And since it is the 1st of April, what better way to start feeling like making yourself a clown than watching School Days? So I'm watching off of Bilibili, and yeah, we'll see. And at least it's something that I could talk about with my friend once I finish watching it. So 30 minutes into this anime, I already hate it. Second episode of this anime, I grew to understand that it is intended for you to not like all of the characters. I think all of them are the ones that they make it so that you won't have like sympathy or anything. If anything bad happens to these characters, you won't care. It's like that sort of vibe. I actually have my journal here while I watch, and I have a bunch of complaints already from the first 2 to 3 episodes. I'm actually in episode 4. I'm just taking a break because I'm going to cook lunch in a bit. However, his fixations, and also the thing that I'm starting to notice actually with this anime is that it is somehow a flip side to the usual romance tropes, the shoujo tropes of all lovey-dovey, two people going into a problem, growing close to each other, and then finally falling in love, those sorts of tropes. This, however, is like made so that you could see that in reality, it's not always butterflies, sunshines, and rainbows, and there will always be like young men who are such douche, and you will most likely hate. And for the girls' side, I am kind of like uncomfortable with the way the 2 main girls act. Their behavior is kind of weird and kind of exaggerated, and it makes it so that you won't grow attached to any of the people that are mentioned here in this anime, and that it shows you, like I said, it shows you that there will always be relationships that will like not meant to be. There will be people that will not foster a beautiful romance with. And the question here is, now that I've watched this, do I even want to watch like a failed romance sort of situation? I mean, I have known like the ending to this, so far it is like 5-ish, like 4 to 5-ish. I'm still quite curious how the ending happened, so I'm still holding out hope. It's fine. It's garbage, but it's fine. So that is like going into like the episode 4 of this anime. I will check back later once I've finished, or if there is something else that I would like to talk about. So yeah, how am I supposed to explain this to you guys who haven't watched this anime? Because like, starting off strong with like the most garbage of anime I've ever seen in my entire life. So, uh, I don't know even what to say. I actually like written so much complaints of mine here in my pages, and like, so first of all, yeah, so this is about a guy who wants to like, and so he meets this girl who is the same school as him on a train. He had a crush on, and then his seatmate offered to help him with like meeting this crush of hers. Like she is sort of the wing woman in between the two, and so the guy and his crush got along. Wing woman got jealous and started admiring also this guy, and then there are a bunch of other girls who started getting interested in him, and he's sort of like whenever there's a new girl that catches feelings for him, he starts to like do funny stuff with that girl, forgetting the other one that he is currently with, and he's just utter garbage. He's the worst person ever, and I also hate the wing woman Sekai, his seatmate, because in a way she was the one who ruined the first relationship, and then once she was the one who got cheated on, she gets angry, and it's like that is what you get for ruining a perfectly normal relationship so much, so that the first girl was actually the most I can't really say tame, because in the ending she is the wildest one there, and maybe this is because of those people wherein like if they are, I mean, experiencing great trauma or great sadness or whatever that is, their psyche starts to go haywire and they go crazy. It's sort of like that situation, because she was so innocent, she was so shy, she is not good with guys, and this is like maybe I assume is her first boyfriend, and then she was betrayed and she still hoped, or then I think she became delusional and such. And so in a way, my god, that is my reaction after finishing watching. And like I counted like 8, maybe 9 girls that he played funny with. I don't, I give it a 3 out of 10. Maybe I'm reducing it to a 2, because I understand that the whole point of the anime is that you have to like not have sympathy for all of these people, and like that they deserve it. They deserve this ending, but still, it's, oh my god. Maybe I'll just keep it at a 3, because yeah, they aren't meant to be loved. They are not meant to be sympathized for, and you would think that you would have sympathy for the first girlfriend or the other girls that he played on, but those girls are similarly bad and similarly, oh my god, yeah. And there are so many rated scenes, so it is best if like if you watch this, if ever you like want to hate watch this, it is definitely for adults only sort of themes. And oh my god, my friend was right in saying that it is a waste of time, but I was curious and I wanted to make this video concept, and now I am very much, yeah. So yeah, that is the first of probably 20 more of these animes. Hopefully the other reason why these animes are bad is because like animation style, story flow, and not necessarily having like a main character who is such a garbage person. So yeah, I'm picking out, actually I might just go for these 2 movies next, Yuki as well as Suikoden, because I think I am more comfortable with their synopsis. So yeah, that's my next one for today. So I have finished Yuki, the movie. It was, as I should say, pretty decent. I gave it actually a 5 out of 10. The only complaint I have of this movie in particular is that the ending was quite underwhelming, so to speak, because so the premise of the movie is that Yuki and her grandparents are like snow deities, and that the village that they are overlooking is like tainted with crimes and evil because of the bandits, as well as the land, what do you call that, like the feudal lord that was in feudal Japan. So like my first reaction here is that the world below has become filthy, said the grandfather. So he sent his pretty 13-year-old granddaughter to fix it, and if she fails, then she becomes nothing. So yeah, that is the premise of Yuki. And so she met a bunch of like orphans whose parents died because of the raids and the wars in the land, and so they are like children of farmers. And then what ended up happening is that Yuki and the other children, as well as their some sort of boss, help out the farmers, like fight against these bandits. And then the response of the feudal lord was actually to increase their taxes for some reason. The feudal lord didn't even do anything to help with the raid, and then after that, they actually attacked the mansion of the feudal lord, and the feudal lord died because he fell off a cliff, and he was like cursing the villagers, saying that their protective deity will curse them because he will grow angry if the people in the village like does something wrong. And somehow that deity actually got angry, and there are a lot of like earthquakes, and the volcano is going to erupt. So what ended up happening is that Yuki went up to that volcano to face the guardian deity, and then she summoned that guardian deity in the volcano. And then what ended up happening is that she said, "Die with me," for some reason. And then the guardian deity got angry, and then he attacked Yuki, and somehow this huge blizzard, because Yuki and his grandparents are like snow deities or snow fairies, and so they summon blizzards and storms. And then yeah, somehow during that exact moment, a blizzard came up, froze the huge mountain sized deity, froze him, and then he broke apart, and then that's the ending. So I'm like, what? The ending basically was like underwhelming and confusing, and then Yuki went back to her grandparents, and that's it. That's the end of the movie. And like the grandparents are like praising her for doing all of the things she did in the village, and then she said, "I didn't do anything. It's the villagers who did this. It was the unexpected blizzard that did that." And she didn't claim anything to be her work. She just was there and wasn't there. I don't. It was actually a pretty movie, so to speak, a very fairy tale sort of storybook-like animation, which I really appreciate. However, the ending just confused, and yeah. So I give it a 5. And now I will proceed to the next movie, which is Suikoden, as I promised, and maybe that's the last one that I'll be watching for today. Just finished Suikoden, and it was actually watchable. It has that early 90s art style of like the martial arts, and I don't know why it is giving me that Street Fighter style of feeling, but I actually enjoyed it, even though I just gave it a 5, because I feel like it's a simple story. So basically what happened to it's giving me wrong impression actually to call it Suikoden Demon Century. It's because the demon that they're referring to is like a spirit that possesses a certain person or follower of theirs, and that these heroes, from the reincarnation of these heroes from 900 years ago who battled that same entity, has gathered in the present day in order to defeat it again. That sort of situation we're having here with Suikoden. So it actually, I cannot remember if this is actually the same plot of a Suikoden game. However, it was watchable, it was decent actually, but still I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Just because, well, it is fairly short, and it is a very straightforward sort of anime wherein the main character is looking for his sister who was kidnapped by this crime organization, which is also the follower of this entity. And then the head was possessed by this evil spirit, and then the main character is actually the reincarnation of the leader of the heroes, and so it is like a battle of the century sort of situation. But still, it was fine. It was a decent story, very straightforward, and that is all actually you could expect from a 45-minute movie of like from the early 90s that isn't that popular. So still, it's fine. I'm actually, I said in an earlier clip that I will stop at Suikoden, but maybe I'll just get a head start with Taboo Tattoo, because as you can see here, it is like 7 titles. I've finished 3, but the total number of titles here is probably 22, 23. So yeah, I will just give a head start on the anime, and I probably can't film any more today, so I will give my thoughts tomorrow. So bye bye. Hi, yes, it's Sunday, April 2nd, and I have finished Taboo Tattoo early this morning. I wasn't able to update as soon as I finished the series because we went out. However, at least in this sort of experiment we're in, I watched all of the low-rated animes, all 6 and below. I have finally, at least at the very beginning of this challenge, have rated a 6. Surprisingly for me, Taboo Tattoo was actually watchable in the most let's say simplest of forms. The impression it gave me is that it is somewhat of a different sort of Vllo of Wiki sort of series. So the premise of the series actually is that this guy has a very strong sense of justice. You could read my writings here if you could understand it, but yeah, if you don't want too much of a spoilers, especially with the names, don't necessarily need to read. However, I would like to say that they should have added like the horror or gore tag, because there is a lot of like killings, murders, and such, martial arts fighting. So it goes with the trope. So the main character Seigi, or Justice, is has a very strong sense of justice, as his name suggests. He is like a martial artist. He does judo. He is trained in judo, and I even mentioned it here that it's good that they gave this guy like the judo experience, or like has experience with martial arts, because when he was given the power of the tattoo, he somehow has this super strength and very nimble body, but somehow it's just his judo experience enhanced by the power that was given to him. So he saved this homeless person, so to speak, and that homeless person gave him this power of the tattoo, which is actually like a superpower that is being studied by the United States, as well as this, I forgot what the kingdom is called, but it's like a science kingdom. However, the princess of this kingdom is looking for all of the tattoos, as well as the forbidden ones, or like each tattoo is actually triggered by a certain inanimate object. For example, one of the main characters, the girl who taught Seigi, her trigger was chalk, and Seigi's trigger is actually blood. So like Vllo of Wiki, as I said, but it's very watchable. The only thing that I don't really enjoy, or like I don't gravitate towards whenever watching series, is that whenever the main character has a very strong sense of justice and something goes wrong, he goes like crazy, super evil, some sort of situation. Like it reminds me of like the behaviors of like Eren Yeager of Attack on Titan. He has a very strong sense of justice and very strong sense of the right, until society kind of crushed his trust and trust in humanity and such. So it's like the same situation. However, the problem with Seigi, and this is like a light spoiler, him and one of the characters, his childhood friend, I don't think that there was, I think their romance was kind of like underdeveloped, although there are hints wherein they wanted to show that there is a thing between them, even though there isn't really. I'm not sure, but I didn't sense much of the romance on the part of Seigi, but rather on the part of the girl. However, something bad happened to that girl, and then Seigi goes crazy. So I didn't see how that impact Seigi as much, when in the episodes before that happened, Seigi didn't really like show nor tell how much this girl means to him. So I don't see how his sense of justice turned into sense of revenge. And yeah, still, it was supposed to be a 7 out of 10 for me. However, there's a lot of boob touching, which I'm very uncomfortable about, so that is why I knock it down to 6. But still, it is quite watchable compared to the previous ones that I watched. Granted, I only watched 4 series so far, so my expectations are quite low. So yeah, I have proceeded to watching Samurai Gun. Samurai Gun is my next one. However, I haven't have much time to watch because we went out today. I've only watched the first episode to see the feel of it, and it's like vigilante justice. Like this guy is out killing evil people in the shogunate and finding the killer of his sister, I think. And instead of a sword, he uses a gun. That's why he's called Samurai Gun. He is like treated as a legend, but also like rumors that he is a hero of justice sort of situation. I have no idea why I've been in this train of heroes of justice. I mean, I enjoy the character known as Emiya Shiro, our hero of justice in Fate Stay Night. However, sometimes it is a hit or miss when it comes to main characters with strong senses of justice. And so yeah, I will update once I finish Samurai Gun, which is maybe later. Bye. Hello, it is actually the 4th of April right now. I wasn't able to film anything yesterday, but I was actually crawling my way through Samurai Gun. It was only 13 episodes, however, it was kind of hard for me to actually watch something that I am not particularly interested in. So, the premise, I believe, of Samurai Gun is that he was looking for the killer of his sister, his older sister, who was killed in front of him, and he can recognize the voice. And also, I think the sister was, in his dreams, was trying to tell him who the killer was. So, they are like a vigilante group of some sort, killing off like corrupt officials, corrupt people in power, criminals, and all of those that are in the shogunate. However, it's kind of weird actually to keep calling them samurais when there are no swords involved. Everyone is using a gun or like heavy artillery, and that is the only awkward thing that I find is that they are called samurais. However, I think there are samurais in spirit, like their principles and such for justice and all of that. However, they use a gun. Their outfits are almost sort of like ninjas. So they're and also they're very nimble bodies. So like it's more of a ninja than a samurai. So anyway, I won't really delve into that much detail in their outfits. But story wise, I kind of fell off because it was actually kind of boring. And also near the end, instead of him taking advantage of knowing who the actual killer of the sister is, he instead got caught up in this mess of like their internal fights with the other samurai guns who have gone haywire. And I think I've said this in a previous clip in this vlog, wherein once people like have a very heavy or great sense of justice and then they go crazy, it's some sort of like that with one of the samurai guns. And the main character Ichimaru now has like a kryptonite of some sort in terms of this woman who is always like captured, kidnapped by spies, by other traders and such, and it's always this girl, but she's always ends up safe anyway. Still, the last part wherein one of the samurai guns betrayed their council because he starts to question whether or not really the assignments that was given to them are actually for justice, or was it just for the benefit of the council to go against the shogunate. And also Ichimaru, the main character, is also starting to question the council or the people that has taught him to be samurai gun. So yeah, and the ending, he didn't really he faced the killer of his sister once, but I don't think he recognized that it was him. That was the issue that I have, and he only encountered him like once or twice throughout the whole story, and then that part of like the plot is nowhere to be seen anymore. So yeah, that is why it's kind of difficult for me. I'm actually using a new tripod, so I will just move you here. So yeah, I am questioning how I am going to rate this anime because I fell off. I only finished it just for the sake of finishing it. This is like my hard-headedness when it comes to anime. If I started it, even though it was utter garbage, I usually finish the whole season. Like if it's an extended, like what do you call that? Extended, like more than one season sort of anime, I just finish one season and then that's when I stop watching it. Like The World Only God Knows is one example. So I don't know how to rate this, if I'm going to rate this a 5 or a 4. I have this inkling that I'm going to rate it as a 4, just because if it was not for me actually crocheting while watching, I would have been dead bored. So the last two, and also I also did not film anything from yesterday, was not only because I was crocheting, but I was also editing the first part of this vlog, which is already about 30 plus minutes long. And so I decided that since this is already like 7 titles, I'm going to divide this sort of vlog into 3 separate parts. Each part being 7 titles, hopefully. So I will check back once I have finished or in the middle of like either Assassin's Pride or Caligula. However, I'm kind of a bit busy today, so we'll see about that. So yeah, hopefully the next clip of me is already watching another one of the 2, and I will get back to you. Okay, quick update. I just finished Caligula, and actually, I'm still confused whether or not I will give it a 7 or a 6 because it was actually quite watchable. However, the only complaint that I have with the anime is that each of the beginning of the episode has a disconnect with the previous episode, so it was kind of uncomfortable for me to watch. However, the story, you could think of it like it is some sort of like Sword Art Online meets Persona sort of situation, but it's actually I can't really explain it, but it's somewhat like those themes. However, it is about like regrets and running away from problems, and then there is one group that goes to this world, this virtual world, to run away from who they are because they want to be someone else and they can be anything they want to be in this world, while others also went there to want to run away from their problems. However, once they realize that they have to face those problems, they start to awaken, and then they want to go out of this world, and then somehow the system, the programming of this virtual world starts to go haywire because they are sort of like the ones that reject the world and want to go back. So that is mostly what I can say about Caligula. It was actually okay. Here are some of the notes that I have actually, and also I keep thinking that the main character's voice is somewhat like Albedo's Japanese VA, but it's actually not. And also the main character was only useful at the very end, I think. It's so bad that for the first 11 episodes I don't feel like, it's like he is very annoying when it comes to like, what is happening, am I being followed, who is this, is someone chasing me, whatever, and he keeps questioning, and even though the answer is very obvious, he still asks the same questions over and over again, so it's kind of annoying. And also the reveal of the main character at the very end was quite like unexpected, but also it was okay. So yeah, more or less it is an okay tolerable anime to watch, which in a way I will probably give it a 6, and it's also a 6 in the my anime list rating, so it's consistent with the ratings of the majority of the people who have watched it. So the last anime that I'm going to watch for this vlog is Assassin's Pride. However, I have something to do today, so maybe I will update tomorrow, or we'll see. Hi, so this is my last update for this video. I have finished Assassin's Pride, and I'm actually giving it a 4 out of 10. It was a very fast watch, to be honest, but I'm going to show you the entry that I did for... Yeah. So basically the story of Assassin's Pride is that this noble clan, one of the daughters who is supposed to be the heir to the paladins, like they're a group of, or like noble paladins, they're knights, and so the only daughter that they had does not manifest mana. So what is supposed to be in this world is that when you're at the age of 7, your mana and your class has manifested. However, she is now 13 and she still hasn't manifested any sort of powers, and she is being called incompetent. So what ends up happening is that they hired a private tutor for her. Kufa Vampire is his name, and he is a samurai class, a non-noble. And then what ended up happening is that if she does not manifest mana within his tutelage, he will have to kill her, which is because he is a hired assassin. So I said that it was actually quite a pedo because she is 13 years old. Kufa is most likely an older teen, and it's just very weird because the very first episode already he did like a mouth-to-mouth administering of a potion to help her manifest her mana, and on the second episode he already got quite touchy, which is very uncomfortable, and it was like, I want to like stop watching already at the second episode, the first scene of the second episode, and it's like for the sake of the video I powered through. However, as the story progresses, this little girl started falling in love with her tutor, and it's almost as if like he is grooming her, and it's kind of icky. However, it is also a romance. I don't understand, because the only tagging that they have in the My Animal list is supposed to be, it's supposed to be fantasy. However, there's a lot of romance, there's a lot of vampire action, and I'm kind of disappointed because the story is so it has potential, supposed to be. However, the way it is executed is not, it's not the most, it's not the greatest, so to speak. I will be talking about a little bit of spoilers because I'm ranting now about this anime. So what ended up happening is that because of Kufa helping to manifest the mana and the class of this little girl, Melida, she ended up manifesting samurai class as well, just like her mentor, because somehow she has been using his mana for the first few parts of the anime while she was training. So as a only daughter of a paladin class, they were accusing Melida as a daughter, like a daughter of another man by the Duchess. And so she was being tested, trials and all that, and being kidnapped and everything, just to prove that she is not a rightful heir to this clan of paladins. However, she did her best. She won a lot of trials and contests, proving her worth, and she was actually very spectacular because she was very motivated. I really like the art style. However, by the end of the very last episode, she wanted to prove herself to her father that she is the daughter of this clan leader and the heir to her clan. And so by the end of the very last scene of the episode, her father, the Duke, was like, I think I could remember now that actually my great-grandmother or your great-grandmother was actually a samurai class. So yes, you are, in a very implicit way, he actually confirmed that she wasn't a daughter from another man, but rather his real daughter. And she looked very much like her mother and very sentimental shit. And I'm like, if you only like given her a chance beforehand, she wouldn't have suffered so much. Yet, although the suffering also led to her growth, and she was like a very mature girl. However, it's just it felt pointless, to say the least. It felt pointless that they were kidnapping her, trying to kill her, wanting her dead because she isn't the rightful heir to this clan. And then, oh, I remember your grandmother is a samurai class, so like it only makes sense that you're also a samurai class. And I'm like. So it's like the first anime to this 7 anime list that I have picked out for this vlog gave me so much stress, and also I end up with an also equally stressful anime. And so yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching through. If you have reached this far into the video, I am very much sorry, but at least I get to like the end of the 7 anime and also have at least a 6 out of 10, which is already a achievement on my part. I have found something that is not particularly that horrible, and yeah, goes to show that if it really is low on the rating, there is a reason for it. So still, it's nice to discover new anime once in a while, even though they're very much trash, but still. I will see you in the next one for part 2, as I will pick out 7 new titles, hopefully, and I'm going to edit this video now. This will be very long. Bye!